everyone? Mr. Octagonal here from Octagonal Gaming. Now we are back with our NFL prediction series. We're over halfway done. We're already at week 10. This NFL season has been flying by. And last week, I thought I did way worse. I went 7-6 and got over 50 points. I thought I did worse, so I'm happy, but that's not a great week at all. I'm very confident in these picks this week, but what I've noticed is when I'm not confident, I do good. When I am confident, I do bad. So please don't lose Lions or else. Yeah. Okay, so what a matchup we have here. So before I tell you who I'm picking, how we do this is we pick each game, but on this channel we go above and beyond. We give each game like a confidence rating, sort of. Like, let's say we have the Steelers and the Vikings, and I think the Steelers are going to win, but I'm not super confident. I pick them off a 1. So if the Steelers win, I get 1 point. If the Vikings win, I get 0 points. And then let's say we have the Dolphins and the Jaguars, and I think the Jaguars are going to win, and I'm really confident that the Jaguars are going to win. I'm going to pick them with a higher number, in this case 14. If the Jaguars win, I get 14 points. Dolphins win, I get 0 points. So we use each number once. So we're starting off with the 1-7 New York Toddlers. I don't know if you get it instead of Giants Toddlers, because they're smaller. And the San Francisco 0-9ers. Both teams have been horrendous this year, and honestly, I think the score might just be 0-0, and no one's going to move down the field. But I'm picking the 49ers to win their first game this year. I'm only picking them with a 1, because, one crappy team's about to get a win that they probably don't want. I think the Giants need to lose this game more, because they have 2 wins. They're sort of back in, they could go 9-7 range, and probably miss the playoffs regardless range, if that makes any sense. So I'm picking the 49ers with a 1. I think both these teams are terrible. The Niners have not looked good. They have no offensive line. And the Giants, Ben McAdoo has lost their entire team. No, that team's just a mess. They need to fire McAdoo, right now. Going into this season, I was impressed with McAdoo's first season. This year, it's just get out, bro. Get out. Now we have the Bengals and Titans. The Titans have been one of the most underperforming teams in the league. I know they're, 4-3? They've not looked like a 4-3 team to me. They've looked at best 3-5. I know 3-5 equals 8 and 4-3 equals 7, but 3-4 I think is a little generous too. The Bengals have underperformed in my opinion as well. I picked them to make the playoffs, but I'm high. Or I was high when I made those NFL predictions. So I'm going with an upset. I'm picking the Cincinnati Bengals to win with a 2. The Bengals have been nice to me this year, except for week 1, because I thought they were going to be good, but the past few weeks, the Bengals have listened to me. They've been nice. Last week, the Jaguars really high. Bengals didn't win. I think A.J. Green's going to eat, because he is playing, by the way. He's not suspended. Him and Jalen Ramsey got in a brawl last week. A.J. Green was throwing punches. Not pies. He was throwing punches. It was not pretty. But I'm picking the Bengals to win with a 2. Alrighty, now we have the New York Jets and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Jets have been average for the past 4 years, except for last year where they're horrendous. But I'm still wondering why the Jets are good. Their roster is atrocious. I don't know how that team is winning games. And on the other side, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who I was really high on going into this season. Jameis is not playing this week. Mike Evans is not playing this week. The Bucs have been a mess this year. I thought they were going to win their division. They've probably been the most underperforming team of the league. At the beginning of the season, I thought I'd be picking the Bucs very high, but I'm picking the Jets with a 3. The Jets have looked decent this year, surprisingly, and the Bucs have just been a mess. They haven't been as bad as the Giants, but they've been close behind the Giants. That team has just looked horrendous. So I'm picking the Jets with a 3, and the Jets, if they win, they're going to be 4-5, which just does not comprehend right. I think they're already 4-5. So if they win, they might be 5-5. Oh gosh, what has this league turned into? Alrighty, now we have the Minnesota Vikings and the Washington Redskins. I'm picking the Vikings with a 4. They've looked good this year. Case Keenum's been solid. Sam Bradford is on IR and Teddy Bridgewater's activated. I do see Case Keenum starting for the rest of the year because don't fix anything that ain't broke, even though Teddy's probably better than Case Keenum. I think this is a little low, but the Redskins aren't that bad of a team. I may be being a little harsh on the Vikings. Maybe I should pick them higher, but I'm going to pick them with a 4. I think this should be a pretty interesting game. The Redskins screwed me over last week, so I don't want to pick the Vikings too high for them to screw me over again. Mini recap, I'm picking the 0-9ers to become 1-9ers with a 1. I'm picking the Bengals with a 2, the Jets with a 3, the Vikings with a 4. And now we have one of the biggest rivalries in football, the Bears and the Packers, who are both been atrocious the past few weeks. I think I'm being a little harsh on the Bears as well. I am picking the Bears with a 5, but the Packers are kind of like the Colts in a way without their quarterback. Like, those two teams are nothing without their quarterbacks, which goes to show you how important a quarterback is to an NFL team. Happy Stafford has, like, insane toughness because he's not missed a game since, like, 2011. He had injury concerns earlier in his career. Hasn't missed a game since 2011, though. So I'm picking the Bears with a 5. The Bears, I thought, like, week 3, week 4, week 5, they looked like a pretty solid team. I've been picking them lately, and they've been screwing me over lately, so I'm going to pick the Bears again, but only with a 5. Right now we have the Cowboys and Falcons. Both teams have debatably been underperforming this year. I think the Cowboys are starting to get into a groove. The past few weeks had a nice win against the Kansas City Chiefs, who are arguably one of the best teams in the NFL. And we have the Falcons. I thought that NFC South division was going to be like one of the best, and the Saints were just going to be like that team that was like so random, won like 5 or 6 games. And the Saints are the only team, in my opinion, that's actually looked like a good team. I've not been impressed with the Panthers. I know they're 6-3. But honestly, I don't see that team making the playoffs. So I'm picking the Cowboys with a 6. I've seen a lot of people pick the Falcons, but I don't think the Falcons look good enough. The Falcons have not showed me enough. They started off 3-0, or should I say, they should have started off 2-1. Week 3, yeah. But I'm picking the Cowboys with a 6. I think the Cowboys are going to get into a groove. I do think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to win that division because the Eagles have been really good. But I do think the Cowboys will make a wild card. Hopefully, the Lions make the playoffs too, and I definitely think that's possible. We'll talk about that later when we get to the Lions game. Alrighty, now we have the Los Angeles Chargers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Chargers have not been a bad team this year by any means, but the Jaguars are better. Pretty simple. They've looked very solid this year. If the Jaguars had a quarterback, oh man, they could be like Super Bowl contenders. I mean, in Madden, Blake Bortles is always a top 5 quarterback, so that always makes the Jaguars Super Bowl contenders. The Jaguars win the Super Bowl more often than I feel like maybe the Seahawks do, which, I mean, the Seahawks may not be a Super Bowl team this year, but you'd think that, or let me have a better example. The Jaguars win it more than like the Chiefs, or more than like, how would I say it? The Saints, but the Saints were supposed to. I don't know. I'm picking the Jaguars with a 7. Not much else to say about that. Jaguars are a very solid team. I think they're going to win the AFC South because the Titans don't look like that good of a team. I would have said the Texans, but now Watson's hurt, and the Colts are just a mess. The Steelers and Colts. The Steelers would have been a good choice for me to say win the Super Bowl. Left Austin than the Jaguars. So the Colts, they did win last week narrowly over Tom Savage in Houston. And we have the 6-2 Steelers coming in for a bye week. I think I'm being a little harsh on the Steelers. I am picking them with an 8, which is pretty high, but as I said, I think I'm picking them a little maybe too low. But I do think the Steelers are definitely a better team. They're probably going to be the only team in that division that makes the playoffs because the Ravens, Joe Flacco for 2020. No, just kidding. Joe Flacco's trash. But I picked the Steelers with an 8. So, yeah. Mini recap, I picked the Bears with a 5, the Cowboys with a 6, the Jaguars with a 7, the Steelers with an 8, and now you got the Saints and the Bills. The Bills did not look that good on Thursday Night Football, but they are coming off a long week. Meanwhile, the Saints, I've been high on the Saints, but yet I've barely picked them the past few weeks. I'm picking the Saints with a 9. I know the Bills are coming off a long week, but I think the Saints, they're a football team. They're 6-2. I think at this point they might be my pick to make it out of the NFC. I don't think Carson Wentz is ready yet. I think he's been really good. I don't think he's ready to make a Super Bowl. I don't think Jared Goff is. The Seahawks have been inconsistent. And there's not really any, maybe the Vikings, but Case Keenum's not leading a team to the Super Bowl. If my Lions can catch fire, which I'd like to see, but the Saints, I think, in my opinion, I think they're going to make the Super Bowl for the NFC side. Which at the beginning of the year I said you would have been crazy, but I think Drew Brees has debatably been the NFL MVP this year. Drew Brees has been phenomenal. I think he's going to tear apart this Bills defense. And I think the Bills are just going to fall off a cliff these next few weeks. Now we have the Dolphins and Panthers, I believe, on Monday Night Football. The Dolphins have not been very nice to me this year. And the Panthers, they're 6-3, I believe. And I am picking them to win this game, so I have them going at 7-3. I know I said I think they're going to miss the playoffs. I know it's kind of hard to believe that a 7-3 team will miss the playoffs. I don't think the Panthers are good enough to make the playoffs, but I do think they're good enough to beat the Dolphins pretty convincingly. I'm picking them with a 10. Of the Patriots and Broncos on Sunday Night Football. And, yeah, you see this picture of Brock Osweiler? That's going to be the story of the night. Brock Osweiler is going to upset the Patriots. Said no, and Brock Osweiler's trash. I'm picking the Patriots with an 11. Pretty simple. I mean, why would you pick against the Patriots if they're playing Brock Osweiler? Yeah, Brock Osweiler is terrible. Even if Trevor Siemian's the starter instead, which that would make way more sense than Brock Osweiler, even though Siemian's trash too. I'd still pick the Patriots, probably with an 11 or 10 either way. So, yeah, Broncos suck. Their best defense in the league allowed 51 points against the Eagles, so, yeah, that really shows that they're the best defense in the league. Yeah, I'm scared of those Broncos going into the playoffs. Oh, no, said no one. Turtle Player 9 is going to be very mad about what I said about his team, which is the Broncos. But I've mini recap pick of the Steelers of an 8, Saints of a 9, Panthers of a 10, Patriots of 11, and now we have the Rams and the Texans. This would be a very exciting matchup if Watson was healthy. I would really want to watch this game because these are two teams that have looked very good this year, at least the Texans if they have a solid quarterback. Picking the Rams, I may be picking them a little high with a 12, but Texans disappointed me last week. If the Texans are going to lose to the Colts, then they should probably lose to the Rams too. If you told me the Rams would be 7-2, I'd say you're high. I picked them to win 2 games, and at this point they have 2 losses midway through the season. So what do I know? But I'm picking the Rams with a 12. They've looked like a very good team this year. They scored 51 on the Giants, which I think a lot of teams can, but it's still a pretty nice accomplishment. I think Todd Gurley's been extremely good, debatably the best running back in the league. I don't know if you'd say that. Maybe Le'Veon, Kareem Hunt. But he's definitely been top 3. Jared Goff has looked good this year, shown a lot of flashes, and I think the Rams are going to easily beat this game, or win this game against the Texans. Now we have the Cardinals and Seahawks here on Thursday Night Football. I picked the Seahawks with a 13 last week. They lost. I'm picking them with a 13 again because the Cardinals are trash. They beat the 49ers, which I think everyone who's played the 49ers has beat the 49ers. I mean, the Cardinals beat them twice, but so will the Seahawks and Rams most likely. I mean, if the Cardinals can do it, those two teams can do it. But the Cardinals, I mean, without a decent quarterback, Adrian Peterson's been really good, but still, Seahawks should win this game pretty easily. Recap, Rams over 12, Seahawks over 13, and now we have my favorite game this week, the Lions and the Browns. I think you guys all know who I'm picking. Yeah, I'd normally pick the Lions with like a 12, but since I don't get to pick them with the highest number that often, I want to do it now. So I'm picking the Lions with a 14. I'm kind of nervous about this game because this is a game that we will lose. We have like the easiest schedule for the second half of the season. I think at worst we should go 10-6, which you guys are like, oh, he's being very biased. Yeah, just look at our schedule. Our hardest game is Thanksgiving at home against the Vikings. That probably should be a win. Our second hardest game is at the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens aren't that good. That's our second hardest game. So we have a very easy schedule. I think we should make the playoffs because of that easy schedule. And I'm excited to play this Browns team. I am a little nervous too because, as I said, this is a game we lose. I think we have 8 very winnable games, but obviously we're not going to win all 8 because we're the Lions. That's why I'm saying 10-6. I know 6-2 is a lot, but I think we can do it. If we lose this game, oh no. But we're not going to lose this game. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure to drop the like button and subscribe. I'm out. Peace.